Hi everyone, this is Mike. I'm going to try this again. I just blew out the live stream I had before. I was doing something on the fly, and I'm going to just confirm that I am streaming right now. And yep, I am. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to sim Pro Strategy Football 2021, the 1970 season. We're going to do the entire 70s, 1970 through 1979. I'm going to sim Pro Strategy Football 2021, and I'm also going to sim second and 10, same season, same teams, etc., and see how the results compare to one another. So I didn't have something set up right the first time. I do now. So I am now going to simulate the 1970 season, and be sure I have this set up. We want this season. And I'm just going to sim the whole thing. Playoffs, everything. Let's see who went to the Super Bowl. Oh, Atlanta beats Baltimore instead of Baltimore beating Dallas. And let's take a look at the standings. Dallas went 10-4, Detroit 11-3, Atlanta 10-2. Surprise. Now Dallas was in the Super Bowl that year but lost to Baltimore. Miami was 11-3, and Baltimore got in as a wild card. Wow. Cincinnati 10-4, Denver 9-5. Let's take a look at the results for the quick play season for second and 10, and we'll do the playoffs. I'm not going to go completely crazy with statistics and all that. We're just going to see ultimate results. Create the playoff. Okay. And autoplay it. And it crashed. Second and 10 crashed. Okay, let's try that again. All right, autoplay week. There we go. I'll just do autoplay week. Autoplay week. And what second and 10 gave us for the 1970 season was the Miami Dolphins defeating the Minnesota Vikings. So, Pro Strategy Football, their Super Bowl for 1970 had Baltimore losing to Atlanta. So, what's correct between these two is at least Pro Strategy Football have Baltimore making the Super Bowl, which is historically correct. Now I'm going to go out and I'm going to do the 1971 season. And we're going to load the schedule. Whoops, 1971, actual schedule, playoffs, start that season. Okay, let me get out of this, and I'm going to go to 1971 for second and 10. And I'm going to simulate 1971 for Pro Strategy Football. Now in real life, the Dolphins defeated the Cowboys defeated the Dolphins in the Super Bowl in real life in 1971. And here we get the Raiders losing to the Rams. Let's see what we get with second and 10. And while we're doing that, let's see how the standings were, because again, it was the Cowboys went 12-2. Washington did even better. And they beat Miami, who was 7-6-1 in this game. Still waiting for second and 10's results. I think I did the quick sim. All right. Create playoff. Yes. And autoplay. And we had Dallas defeating Pittsburgh in 1971. So by comparison, in this case, second and 10 at least got one of the teams correct. Dallas, they did play in the Super Bowl, but in actuality, they lost. They defeated Miami. So second and 10 has the nod, at least right now, for the 71 season. So let's take a look at 1972. And I'm going to go ahead and quit that while I set up Pro Strategy Football. We'll go 1972. Oop, I hit 71. Oh, that was a test. That should still be right. It is. Okay. Simulate. We're going to go that, load 1972, start the season, and sim playoffs 2. And we've got Oakland defeating Washington in the Super Bowl with Pro Strategy Football in 1972. In reality, Miami defeated them. I think I have the wrong file loaded there, but let's just see. Well, with 2nd and 10, Denver defeated Minnesota. So, in this case, the more accurate was at least Washington made the Super Bowl in real life in 1972, and neither of these teams did. But let's take a look. See if I can go to the regular season. I can't, that's right. All right, so for 1972, between the three, each simulation has gotten one team correct and at least who appeared in the Super Bowl. The one that 2nd and 10 was correct on, it was the Super Bowl champion in real life. The one in Pro Strategy Football, it had a different team winning it all, but it had a correct team that actually made the Super Bowl. So, confused yet? Okay, let's look at 73. All right, 73. And we will do the playoffs, 1973 schedule. Whoops, did I click the right one? Did I click 73? I did that time. And play existing season, 1973. And we'll quick play the season, let her rip. And we'll do here, simulate everything. So in 1973, the Dolphins defeated the Vikings in real life. And here, we have the Raiders defeating the Cowboys. And let's take a look at what 2nd and 10 does. Is it going to lock up? It crashed again. 2nd and 10 crashed again. Yikes. So if Kerry Batts is watching this, hey, 2nd and 10 is crashing more than your game. Okay, let's see. I'll just go quick play season. Okay, 1973. Miami defeats Dallas 9-6. In reality, Miami defeated Minnesota. So 2nd and 10 not only got one of the teams correct, it was the team that won, where Pro Strategy Football did not get either one correct for 1973. Now, mind you, I'm just doing one sim. I could sim all day and I'm going to get different results from both of them, and they're going to be right, they're going to be wrong. But let's see. We go to 74, and in 1974, Pittsburgh defeated Minnesota. Whoops. Load schedule, 74, playoffs, start it, and simulate the whole thing. Let me load this one, 74, quick play season. And while we're waiting on that, let's see what the Super Bowl was. Wow, the Raiders have got to be really upset because these sims have them at least in, if not winning Super Bowls, and they only made it in 76 and the 70s. But this is 74. You had the Raiders, who lost to Pittsburgh in the championship game, make the Super Bowl against Washington, and 74, neither one of these teams was in the Super Bowl. Well, let's see what 2nd and 10 does. Oops. Okay. It has New England losing to Minnesota. Well, at least they got a team correct, and they got Minnesota in the Super Bowl. They lost to Pittsburgh, but I think our Red Sox fan is going to be as disappointed his Patriots didn't win. So another nod, if you will, to 2nd and 10 on that sim. Okay, Let's do 75. And in 1975, the Steelers defeated the Cowboys. And I will do the autoplay season instead of quick play. I'm just kind of going between. Let's see. 75. Whoops, I keep hitting that. Load schedule. And that's right. Start it. Sim everything in the playoffs. So if this is correct, it's going to be Pittsburgh against Dallas. And we get Baltimore losing to the Rams. Well, I mean, the Rams were a great team in 75. That's probably that was the best team in the decade for them. Let's see. We'll create a playoff. Right. And quick play. And we have Minnesota defeating, Oakland defeating Minnesota. So for 1975, neither simulation got the Super Bowl matchup right, either team. And ironically, these two teams in second attempt play each other next year, 76. Let's see. Look at standings. Dallas went 10-4. And they were a wild card, so that's actually kind of right. Pittsburgh 12. They went 12-2 in real life, so that's actually pretty accurate. It just when they got in the playoffs, they got beat. So let's set up for 1976, and in 76 the Raiders beat the Vikings. And we'll go quick play the season. And we'll load 76 here. Load schedule 76. Let's see. So 76, this should be the Raiders defeating the Vikings. We get the Raiders winning with Pro Strategy Football, except they beat Detroit. So let's see what happens with 2nd and 10. And quick play. And we get Dallas defeating the Chargers. Wow, that's interesting. So in this case, in 76, Pro Strategy Football at least got one team right when it comes to the Super Bowl team, a team that made it that particular year and was the team that won. So, generally speaking, this looks, there's similar simulations. I wonder if I can go back instead of 76 playoffs. I think I have to here we go. Let's see what the teams did. Whoops. Standings. Let's compare standings. Okay. All right, well, the NFC is listed first here. Dallas, both simulations, Dallas goes 12-2. Both simulations, Washington went 8-6 in Pro Strategy Football, and they went 9-5, 2nd and 10. At St. Louis going 7-7, 2nd and 10, and 9-5 in Pro Strategy Football. Both had Minnesota going 12-2. Look at that. Both had Minnesota going 12-2. The difference here was Pro Strategy Football had Detroit going 10-4, and 2nd and 10 had them going 5-9. And Green Bay goes 6-8 with 2nd and 10 and 2-12 with Pro Strategy Football. Let's take a look at the NFC. The NFC, excuse me. Finish the NFC. The Rams went 13-1 in 2nd and 10. They go 10-4 in Pro Strategy Football and won the division. So they both had the same division winners. In the AFC, Baltimore goes 10-4 with both simulations. New England goes 9-5 with 2nd and 10 and 8-6 with Pro Strategy Football. Each has its own little quirks, but we're getting kind of similar results. Pittsburgh went 12-2 in 76 according to this game, and in Pro Strategy Football they went 10-4, and that's actually what they did in real life. They actually did go 10-4. Pro Strategy Football has the Raiders going 12-2. And they actually did worse with 2nd and 10. They were 9-4-1. So they only beat San Diego by half a game. So, I mean, I'll be honest with you, looking at these two sims, you know, give or take, they're in the ballpark as to what they seem to be simming, from what I can see. So let's go a little more in depth when we go to 77. I probably should have done all the standings beforehand. You know what? Let's see what they did in 72. Let's take a look at the standings in 72. What did the Dolphins do? Now, in real life, the Dolphins went 14 and 0, and second and 10 has them going 9 and 5 and losing the division to the Jets. Let's go back to 72 here. I don't think I had the right 72 loaded. I think I had one, a special one that I had made for running a YouTube sim. But let's go check it out anyway. Okay, and second and 10, Miami goes 11 and 3, tied with New York. So both simulations had Miami losing games. It's just that second and 10 had the undefeated Dolphins going 9 and 5, where Pro Strategy Football had them going 11 and 3. Pittsburgh went 10 and 4 with Pro Strategy Football, and that's what they did in real life. And in second and 10, Pittsburgh goes 9 and 5, a game shy of what they did in real life, but still in the realm of what you would expect. Wow, Oakland goes 12 and 2 with Pro Strategy Football, and Oakland goes 7-6 and 1. And they don't win the division. Denver does. In real life, the Raiders played the Steelers in the playoffs. So, I mean, each is doing their own thing, it looks like. And where are we going back to? I think it's... Oh, my wife's calling. Hang on one second. I'm going to mute my mic. This is live. So, I'm going to mute my mic. Give me a second. I got to run outside for a second to check on something, but I'll be right back. All two of you who are watching. Thanks. I'll be back. Hi, kids. Thanks for waiting. The one of you that's still here. All right. Let's get back to this nonsense that I'm doing. We're going to 19. What did we leave off at? 77 or 78? Uh, 77. Okay, so I'm going to single season 77. And whoever left came back. Thanks for coming back. All right, we are going to 77. If I can find the schedule. What did I do with the schedule? There it is. 77. And the 1977 playoff setup. And we'll do a quick play here. Simulate here. All right, so 1977, Dallas beat Denver in the Super Bowl. And here we have Dallas beating Oakland with Pro Strategy Football. Okay, that's believable. And let's create a playoff for 2nd and 10. Quick play. And it's going to crash again, isn't it? Yep. 2nd and 10. Crashed again, kids. All right. That's kind of a shame because 2nd and 10 is an absolutely great game. Yeah, I may be playing Pro Strategy Football, but I'll be straight up. 2nd and 10 is a great game. Now, here we go. We have the Rams defeating the Patriots. Poor Al Red Sox fan. That's 2 Patriots loss in the 70s in Fantasyland. So, in this case, Pro Strategy Football was correct in not only at least getting one of the teams right, who appeared in the Super Bowl in 77, but they were the winner. All right, let's take a look at 78. Oh, let's go take a look at standings. Let's go 77. Take a look at the standings. All right. So in real life, Dallas went 12 and 2, and that's what Pro Strategy Football tells us. 2nd and 10 has them going 13 and 1. Okay. Let's see. Both have Minnesota winning their division. Pro Strategy Football has them winning at 10 and 4, and 2nd and 10 at 9 and 5. And let's see. And both have the Rams winning the division. 2nd and 10 has them winning at 12 and 4. Pro Strategy Football, 10 and 4. Pro Strategy Football 12 and 2. In the AFC, Baltimore wins the division at 11 and 3 in Pro Strategy Football, while New England wins on a 3-way tiebreaker at 9 and 5 with Baltimore and Miami. Both games have Cincinnati winning their division in 77 with a record of 9 and 5. That was actually Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh has a losing season with 2nd and 10, but they are 8 and 6 with Pro Strategy Football, so that's a little more realistic. Both teams have Denver winning their division. 2nd and 10 is correct with their record of 12 and 2. Pro Strategy Football had them going 11 and 3, still within reason. Okay, let's take a look at 1978. That was the second time the Steelers played the Cowboys in the Super Bowl. And let's see what happens this time. All right. There's 1978. 1978 playoffs. Simulate. So this should be Pittsburgh defeating Dallas, if it's right. We have Pittsburgh defeating the Rams, which actually takes place in 1979. But okay. And we're still waiting for 2nd and 10. And 2nd and 10 is done. Create playoff. Okay. And autoplay it. And good grief, we have Dallas beating San Diego 58-3. Hello. Dallas was good, but they didn't put up that many points. Yikes. Look at that. Roger Staubach, 221 yards passing, 3 touchdowns, a 120 rating, and he had 7 yards rushing. Okay. Let's see. Good God. I got to see the box score on this. Wow. Staubach was 15 of 27 for 3 touchdowns. Dorsett had a rushing touchdown. Newhouse had a rushing touchdown. Oh, my goodness. Poor Harris. All right. Let's take a wow. Let's take a look at 1978, their standings. All right. Let's go back to Pro Strategy Football, teams and standings. I'm going to scroll up so we can see the NFC. Wow. According to Pro Strategy Football, Philadelphia and Dallas tied for the division win of 11-5. In real life, Dallas went 12-4, but Philly had the tiebreaker. And Second 10 got it right with Dallas winning with the record of 12-4. Minnesota wins the division over a tiebreaker over Detroit on Pro Strategy Football. And in Second and 10, Chicago wins on a tiebreaker with Green Bay in Second and 10. And in the West, both teams had the Rams winning the West. Both games had the Rams winning the West at 12-4. Wow. Okay. Let's take a look at the AFC comparisons. AFC. Well, New England wins the division in 78, while in Pro Strategy Football in Second and 10, it's the Jets. Okay, Pittsburgh wins the division in both Second and 10 and Pro Strategy Football. In real life, Pittsburgh went 14-2. Pro Strategy Football had them at 12-4, and Second and 10 had them at 11-5. In the West, Oakland wins the division at 10-6, and Denver is 9-7 with San Diego in Second and 10 in Pro Strategy Football. Denver wins the division, and Oakland is a game and a half back. Okay, so one more year, kids. One more simulation. We're going to do 1979. We're going to call it and let them autoplay that season. So let's load up 1979. Okay. Whoop. Close. That one. I want the 925 one. I actually know what all that means. I know it's gobbledygook to you, but 1979. Okay. Playoffs. Simulate. Bam. So 1979, Pittsburgh is supposed to defeat Los Angeles, which we just actually saw in 78. And this time, Pittsburgh defeats Dallas. So 78 and 79, the ultimate two teams that are in Pro Strategy Football, it's the right teams, the years are inverted. But okay. Create playoff. Okay, whoops. Create playoff. Yes. Overwrite. And please don't crash this time. Autoplay season. Okay. We have the Redskins defeating the Steelers. So both games for 1979 had the Steelers in the Super Bowl against the wrong opponents in real life. Pro Strategy Football got it correct that Pittsburgh won the Super Bowl, where in 1979 they have the Redskins winning the Super Bowl. Oh, John Riggins, the MVP. He would be in 3 years, but so that's where we stand. Let's do let's take a look at standings and just see how they compare. Standings. 1979, team standings. Okay. Looking at the NFC. Let's see. According to Second and 10, the Cowboys went 8-8. And according to Pro Strategy Football, they went 12-4. And I believe in real life they went 11-5. Pro Strategy Football had the Redskins at 10-6. And Second and 10 had them at 13-3. Wow. Let's go to the Central. Second and 10 has Detroit winning the division in a three-way tiebreaker with Minnesota and Tampa Bay, and Chicago 2 games behind, where in Second and 10, Chicago wins the division over a tiebreaker with Tampa Bay. And the thing is, Tampa Bay did win the division at 10-6. I remember that. We go to the NFC West. According to Second and 10, New Orleans and the Rams tied at 10-6, and the Saints got the tiebreaker. The Saints went 8-8. They almost had a winning season, but they just missed it. According to Pro Strategy Football, the Rams go 11-5, the Saints go 10-6. In reality, the Rams won the division at 9-7, and the Saints were 8-8. I remember that. So let's take a look at how the AFC is. Let's see. Pro Strategy Football has the Patriots winning the division at 11-5, a half game ahead of Miami. In 2nd and 10, Miami won the division at 10-6, tiebreaker with Buffalo, but the Patriots were a game back. So they're kind of in the same realm. Both games have Pittsburgh going 12-4. Their real life record in 1979 was 12-4. So both games nailed that one. And in the West, Pro Strategy Football has Denver winning the division, and 2nd and 10 has the Chargers winning the division. The Chargers were 12-4 and did win the division. So in this case, 2nd and 10 is a little more accurate here. So in conclusion, I'm going to pop myself back up so I can see myself. In conclusion, it's pick your poison from what I can see. Now, the difference between these games is 2nd and 10 is a number cruncher. They're using actual statistics. And they do have a rating system, which I don't exactly understand. But they're using actual statistics, number crunching for game replay. And in my experience, it's one of the better number crunchers, if not the best number cruncher out there. And I've played some other ones. I mean, I'm still partial to NFL Pro League football from the 80s and 90s. I thought that may have been the best number cruncher that was ever made. But 2nd and 10 is a great number cruncher. Pro Strategy Football does have some statistics in it, but it's more ratings based. And so, in a way, you can fine tune the ratings if you wanted to create teams, or if you download teams and you think this player's overrated or that player's underrated. You can go in and tweak it. With a number cruncher, it is what it is. I mean, those are the actual numbers. And the sad thing is sometimes numbers can lie. They don't tell the complete truth. Give an example in baseball. I personally think the 98 Yankees may be the best baseball team I've ever physically watched and seen in my life. The 98 Yankees. Their statistics don't always show that. I've played number cruncher games in baseball, and the 09 team does better than the 98 team. But I think the 98 team would beat up the 09 team. I think the 98 team would beat up most teams. I'm sorry, people who don't like the Yankees, but I'm just telling you. So sometimes statistics can lie. I think the 72 Dolphins, with the exception of their running game, with their running backs, some of their statistics is why you saw them not do as well in 2nd and 10. That's just my opinion. So you can jack up their ratings in a ratings game like Pro Strategy Football and get them winning the majority of their games, which is, if they don't go 14-0 and they go like 12-2 or 11-3 like they did here, it's understandable. It's a game, but it's pick your poison. It's pick your poison. I mean, there's no right or wrong answer, but generally speaking, from what I can see, is the results that are popping up here. Sometimes they're believable. Sometimes they're like, wow, they nailed it. And sometimes it's kind of, well, that's a little shaky. But you're going to get that in any sim. There is no such thing as a perfect sim, as Uncle Ron has said. He's right. There is no such thing as a perfect sim. If you're looking for it, you will never be happy. And I believe that Ron said some derivative of what I just said. It was not word for word, but it was a derivative, paraphrasing. I think Uncle Ron said something along those lines. And he's right. So you'll never find it. So pick your poison. I mean, they're both. I'm tickled that Pro Strategy Football kept up with, and in some ways surpassed 2nd and 10. Maybe not in other ways, but in some ways it did. And I think that's kind of cool. So there's a choice, and there always is going to be a choice. But it's I'd like to throw Action PC in here and get some kind of results and put these three all together in it. But I mean, we got similar results. Now, who won? I don't know if there's a concrete winner between 2nd and 10 and Pro Strategy Football. Both of them did. I mean, if you were coming here and you expect either one of these teams to get every single Super Bowl correct and every single winner and every single loser and every single record and every single, um, you know, uh, that say Harris and Blyer both had 1,000 yards rushing. Well, let's take a look. Let's see if Harris and Blyer had 1,000 yard rushing in '76, and let's take a look at '72 as well, and let's see if the numbers jive. '72. Let's take a look at the Dolphins, and let's see if we have 2,000 yard running backs. Whoops, that's passing. Well, let's see. Zonka had just over 1,000, and Morris had just under 1,000 with Pro Strategy Football. In real life, both of them went over 1,000. So Pro Strategy and Zonka did have more rushing yards, and Kick was very respectable in this game as well. So Zonka and Kick supposed to be 1,000 yard runners, and one is just shy of 1,000. So that's pretty good. Um, so let's take a look and see if the Steelers of '76 did the same thing. '76, okay. Let's take a look. And I remember that this is a real life record, so that's actually right on the money. Rushing. Actually, for the Steelers, both Harris and Blyer had just over 1,200 yards. It's a little more than what they did in real life, but they both broke 1,000 yards. So it was very close with the '72 Dolphins, and it was just a hair under, and it was a little over for the Steelers with two running backs with 1,000 yards. But I mean, that's in the realm of correct. So let's take a look and see if 2nd and 10 had similar results. So in '72, teams, Miami. You know what? Do I do it this way? I think I have to go back. Oops, 72 stats. This is what I need. Stats. Rushing by player. Okay, let's see. Neither one of them. Mercury Morris had 899 yards. Larry Zonka had 837. If you look in the middle of the screen, I don't have a pointer for you, but if you look in the middle of the screen, Mercury Morris had 899 yards and Larry Zonka had 867. So in reality, Pro Strategy Football was more accurate than the number cruncher 2nd and 10. It's a little surprising. Let's take a look at '76, and let's see if we have the same. Let's see if we have the same thing. Rushing. We're looking for Blyer and Harris. Rushing. Wow. Walter Payton had 1,800 yards rushing that year. Okay, let's see. Okay, Blyer had 1,200, and Harris had a little over 1,100. So both games had Harris and Blyer at around 1,200. So both 2nd and 10 and Pro Strategy Football. Let's do an actual comparison. They're right next to each other. Let's see. Pro Strategy Football had Harris with 263 rushes for 1,220 yards. Franco Harris, according to this, had 300. According to 2nd and 10, had 313. He had more rushes than the 263 from Pro Strategy Football, but he had 1,159, where Pro Strategy Football had him 1,220 yards. Harris had 10 touchdowns with 2nd and 10, and he had 19. Excuse me, he had 11 with Pro Strategy Football, so they're close there. Harris gains more yards with Pro Strategy Football when he ran less. Well, Harris and Blyer, look at this. They both rushed for 263 attempts, both of them, in 2nd and 10. And in Pro Strategy Football in 2nd and 10, let's take a look at what Blyer did. He had 268 rushes, so 2nd and 10 has him rushing 5 more times than Pro Strategy Football does in the same year. And they have him with 1,283 yards, where Pro Strategy Football has it 1,203. And the second and 10 sim has him scoring 7 touchdowns, and Blyer, according to Pro Strategy Football, scored 5. So both games are pretty similar with how Rocky Blyer did. So, um, oops. Let's see. Okay. Let's blow this up full screen. All right. So I just wanted to, and here comes the feedback. I just wanted to give this a whirl and compare. Uh, whoops. I like a lot of clicking, don't I? I just wanted to compare Pro Strategy Football and Second and 10. And in a lot of ways, they're similar. Both have their pros, both have their cons. But we have an idea of how the ratings game of Pro Strategy Football, which is mainly ratings, there are some statistics, compared to Second and 10 are. And they're actually not but so far off, to be honest with you. But anyway, so pick your poison or pick them both. And now you have an idea head to head how these two games compare. And I hope you enjoyed it.